Shalom, everybody. It's Rabbi Stephen here, Rob Shmuel ben Yehoshua, Rashbi in the house. How you doing? So, happy Hanukkah to everybody. That is on Sunday, and we start the 8 days of lighting of the candles, the festival of lights. And Hanukkah is actually very simple. The only really mitzvah that's involved is lighting the candles. You put the shabbos in, and you set the candles, and we looked this up this time. It's you set the candle all the way to the right, and you add new candles to the left, and that's how you light them. So, and another thing I learned this year is that in order for a Hanukkiah, that is the Hanukkah menorah, to be kosher, all the stems need to be in a line. You can't have a funky candelabra that's got the stems all over the place in 3 dimensions. It has to be 2-dimensional. So, and we'll be talking about that too. I've got a couple of events I'll be going to on Monday, the 23rd. 4 o'clock. I'll be participating in the Menifee lighting over at Central Park. If you're there, it's right by the 215 and Newport Road. If you're available, please join us. 4 o'clock. It's wonderful. So, this week's portion, Vayeshev. Okay, so now we've got the mantle being passed from Jacob to Joseph. And as we've seen as the flow goes in Genesis, we've had Adam and Eve, we've had Noah, we have Abraham and Sarah, we've had Yitzchak and Rivka, and now we've had Israel, Yaakov, who is now Israel, and his wives Leah and Rachel, and Zilpah and Bilhah. His concubines, he's had a total of 13 children, 12 of them would become the tribes, and of course he had Dinah. And, I know I didn't talk about Jacob becoming Israel last week because, there's so much going on in the Torah. I like to kind of mix it up a little bit from year to year. That way we don't say the same thing over and over again. Otherwise, just, here's last year's, go for it. And there's so much. We had a cantor leading our synagogue, Cantor Joe, who had the lineage background, and he described it, I think, very accurately by saying that the Torah is really kind of like an onion. There's the layers, and as you go into it, as you delve into it more and more, you see more and more things. So I've mentioned this for a couple of years. I was studying the Sonsino which is the conservative version, edited by Rabbi Hertz, and also the Art Scroll version, which is the Orthodox, and reading those two, getting kind of a little different perspective each time. And now this year I'm using the Eitz Chaim, which is the newest conservative Chumash, sanctioned by the Rabbinical Assembly. It's showing up some very interesting things. For example, we have the portion starts out that Jacob loved Joseph. He was the son of his favorite wife, which was Rachel, who died giving birth to Benjamin in the last portion. And while the other sons are out there tending to the sheep and doing the work, Joseph is home studying with his father, being the favorite son. And what does Jacob do? He gives him a coat. Now, we refer to this coat as kids as the many colors. Yes, it had a lot of different colors on it, but the point of the coat is that it indicated nobility. And the other sons saw this, and of course, they were jealous. And what made matters worse is that now Joseph has the gift of prophecy. He has dreams. Dreams was the most common vehicle for prophecies. Other peoples and other cultures are said to have this gift as well, and it kind of foretells the future. And of course, what does he do? He tells his brother that he had a dream. He had these shafts of wheat, and they all had shafts of wheat, and his was straight. The other ones were bowing down to him. And of course, they didn't like that because the implications are that he's in charge and they're going to bow down to him. Little did they know, but we're coming to that. Then he has another dream, and a lot of times, and this happens to with Pharaoh. Pharaoh has, as we're going to see in a few portions from now, has a couple of dreams, and they're really and as Joseph will tell him, this is the same dream. You had the same dream. Okay, so now Joseph has the second dream, and that second dream is that there's the sun, the moon, and the stars bow down to him. So now Jacob, Israel, is irate. He's saying, wait a minute, you're telling me that me and your mother and your brothers are going to bow down to you? And when he says mother, what does he mean? We'll know it's later. Part of some of the sages say that, with Rachel gone, Israel, Jacob kind of rediscovers Leah and falls in love with her, et cetera, et cetera. And when you think about it, we're all descended from Leah. Leah, Judah, we're Jews, Judahites, and she's our matriarch. Leah is. And what's interesting, you hear me say Jacob, Israel. In the portion, it goes back and forth. So Jacob was the physical person, and Israel was kind of his spiritual self. And we're getting kind of into a funny area, but it's the same person. It's just different aspects of who he was. How goodly are your dwellings, O Jacob, your sanctuaries, O Israel. We've got the dwellings, the physical, and we've got the sanctuaries, which is the spiritual. Some people liken that to Torah. So Joseph kind of incurs the wrath of his brothers because now Jacob tells him, go off and see how peaceful things are. They use the word shalom, which means peace. See how things are with your brothers. Now, some people say that he was going to check up on his brothers to make sure that they were doing their job and not out carousing somewhere, or did he just want to see that everybody was getting along? Either way, he comes, and he's got the two dreams that he's told them. Now he's got this special coat, and they're all grimy from working. He's nice and looking pretty prim and proper, and bam, they want to do away with him. So first Reuben intervenes and says, let's not kill him, let's just throw him into this pit. And then Judah comes back to check on him to make sure everything's fine. And they figure, well, we're not going to kill him, we're just going to sell him off. We're just going to get rid of him. He's a pain in the neck. I'm using the word neck, okay? I'm sure the brothers thought he was a pain somewhere else, but that's kind of the way it is. And then they sit down to eat. Now, the Eitz Chaim Chumash makes a very interesting point here. It talks about how they're sitting down to eat while he's in the pit, and in a way, this foreshadows the fact, because what's going to happen to Joseph? He's going to be sold to the Ishmaelites, a group of Ishmaelites passing by, and this is the way most of the sages agree, this is the way it happens. The Ishmaelites sell him to the Midianites, and the Midianites sell him to the Egyptians. He ends up in the court of Potiphar, who is kind of a minister of Pharaoh. Right? And the fact that the brothers are eating are what? The fact that Joseph got to Egypt, ultimately, he's going to be responsible for everybody having food during a famine. So this is the way things turn out. So we always ask, why does this happen to me? Why do I have to go through these horrible experiences sometimes, and bad experiences in life? Well, Joseph went through a bad experience, and look how it ended up. He went through these bad experiences so that he could help the world survive during the famine. Think about that. So, first of all, he's in the court of Potiphar, and Potiphar takes a liking to him. Joseph, being a typical 18, 19-year-old, after a couple of years, he starts proving himself, curling his hair, as they say. And, he's a typical 20-something, right? He wants to look cool, he wants to look hot. And while Potiphar is out doing his job and Joseph is running the household, Potiphar's wife, who is without her husband, starts to take a liking to him. And she advances to him, makes advances to him. Joseph, to his credit, pushes her away and says, no, we can't do this, your husband. And she's like, nobody will know. He's like, yeah, well, no, we can't do it. I believe in God, I believe in Hashem. And Joseph had been studying these years, and finally it starts to sink in a little bit, right? Now, a little bit of an obscure comment here. And I say this because this is still part of who we are as Jews. But when a person gets bar bat mitzvah, what do? They have to learn Torah, and they have to learn not just to read the words, they have to chant them according to these cantillations. In Hebrew, the word is talmudin, but we always use the word trope, and each trope has a different melody. Well, there's Torah cantillations, and there's Haftorah cantillations. And we know the Haftorah cantillations. Ma'ah, Mashtaha, Sakev, Kakton, Merchativ, Munach, et Nafah. Those are the Haftorah. Now, the Torah is a little different. It's a little bit less embellished, a little bit more, thinking of the word, less embellished. The word comes to me later. That's what happens with the elephants. So it would be, so you see, it's not as embellished. It's got da-da-da. So, as Potiphar's, and these are standard cantillations, you see them come up. Now, in addition to that, there's some obscure cantillations that happen very infrequently in the Torah. One of them is a cantillation called shalshelet, and it's kind of a squiggly one. And you find this in chapter 39 on verse 8. This is actually the first verse of the sixth aliyah, and it's V'yomru, and the shalshelet kind of goes a little bit like this, da 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 da, back and forth, da da da. And what the sages say is the reason the Masoretes who put all these cantillations in the Torah, put that there, is because Joseph's wavering. Wow, should I, shouldn't I, shouldn't I, shouldn't I? You know, da 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 da. You know, you think of your head going da da da. What should I do? And that's what the cantillations are for. They're to help give emphasis to certain things in the Torah. This shalshelet only occurs 4 times in the whole Torah. And this is one of the places that shows kind of the indecision, and that's why the Masoretes who put the cantillations there, because remember, the Torah has no grammar, no punctuation, and that's how we know which is important and which isn't. So I'll leave there with that. Happy Hanukkah. I may end up doing a little bit of tape for that as well, but in the meantime, see you. May have a great festival of lights. We have services here on Friday and to see Shabbat Shalom, and hope to see you.